Hi friends, if you're over 30, how do you know your immune system actually needs support? Now, most people wait until they get sick to think about their immunity. But what I want you to think about is recovery. Have you ever felt completely fine one day and then the next morning you wake up like you were hit by a train? How long did it take you to recover? And if you're over 30, you probably feel the change. You just don't bounce back the way you used to. My name is Dr. Liu, and I'm a double board certified physician practicing medicine for nearly 30 years. And in this video, I'm going to show you 10 targeted nutrients and habits that you can do today to support your recovery. Each of them has their own benefits, but your body really needs all of them in the right amounts to get maximum support. You're going to be surprised why this is a daily process, even though you feel fine. But before we get into the list, I actually want you to do one thing. Go and get your supplements right now. Like this. Yeah, your vitamin C's, your zinc, your probiotics, your gummies, your powders, whatever you take. I want you to turn that bottle or box around and look at the label. Because by the end of this video, you really should be asking, is this good for recovery? How well your body recovers really depends upon 3 basic principles. That's for all of us. The first is to protect your metabolic health, which reflects how your body handles blood sugar, insulin, fat, inflammation, and energy. People with poor metabolic health have weak immune systems and they recover ever so slowly. But too many people focus on the symptoms of poor metabolic health, like their weight, high blood sugar, high blood pressure, as opposed to reversing the root cause. Now, if you have ongoing symptoms, that just means you have ongoing inflammation. And that means you're going to struggle with recovery. Too many just focus on correcting the symptoms. Let's say you lower your blood sugars from taking, some supplement, yet you're eating the very foods that cause your blood sugars to be persistently elevated. How does that make any sense? You don't squash inflammation just because your blood sugars look normal. Your immune system, it's still going to be struggling to recover, even though your blood sugar looks normal. And this is why TikTok videos about how to avoid blood sugar spikes go viral, even though blood sugar spikes are a very normal physiological response to the foods that people are choosing to eat.
Today I'm going to test apple cider vinegar to see if it's going to reduce a blood sugar spike.
Far too many people invest in supplements that don't work, or yo-yoing in weight, or struggling with poor sleep and cravings. So, what can we do? What most people are ignoring is that the root of many of their metabolic struggle starts with their largest immune organ, their gut microbiome. Not only is most of your body's immune cells there, but you also have a unique microbiome that helps you process and digest your food. It helps to talk to your immune system. So it's really sending signals to your immune system to change how your immune system responds to you and your environment. Ever look in your toilet after you've pooped and take a whiff of that poop? If your own poop smells so foul and rotten that you can't stand to be in the room, then that's the first sign that there may be something wrong with your gut. You may have inflammation, where you have undigested material that's being fermented by anaerobes into volatile sulfur compounds, maybe short-chain fatty acids and other breakdown products that just simply isn't getting absorbed and you're pooping it out. These microbes, they can actually make your blood sugars higher. They can make you, from a skinny person, become obese, and they can cause intense inflammation. Now, most of the time, the solution is not to take antibiotics to eradicate those suckers. The solution is really to nourish your gut with prebiotics, natural whole foods with prebiotics and fiber. And that first food is fruit. Try adding fruits before every meal, every snack, and maybe replacing some snacks. That'll begin to reset your gut. And I know some of you are thinking, well, doesn't that increase sugar? Yeah, fruit has sugar, but whole fruit is not like drinking soda or eating candy. When you eat whole fruit, you actually lower your blood sugars because it comes with water, potassium, antioxidants, and polyphenols, and it's all intricately wrapped in fiber. Now, the first time you eat it may not be lower in your blood sugars, but if you keep eating it and you eat enough of it, your blood sugars will lower. Now, have you eaten any fruit? Did you eat it yesterday? My guess is probably not, because so many people are afraid of eating fruit, but they eat bread, rice, noodles, crackers, snacks, desserts. Those are what actually increases your blood sugars and your weight. Whereas people who eat more whole fruit, they have lower blood sugars and lower weight. Now, we're talking about whole, fresh fruit, folks. That's not eating a fruit pie or some fruit dessert, fruit cup. Whole, fresh fruit is one of the easiest immune foods because not only does it taste good, it's low in calories, it's high in fiber, it's easy to prep, and it's full of prebiotics that improve your gut health. Now, my favorite immune modulator is a berry called elderberry because there's actually data that shows that elderberries can support recovery. But it's not one of those berries that you want to eat fresh and raw. You can actually get pretty sick doing that. It needs to be ripe and cooked. You don't need a lot of it, but it is one of those berries that reminds us when you eat food, it's more than just getting calories or getting your protein. Eating foods is really to modulate your immune system. Your foods train your immune system. They give it information and signals to help either increase inflammation or decrease inflammation. It helps your body repair and recover. Now, stay with me because I know this is where most people get immunity completely wrong. And they think they just know it all. They know their bodies. Sure, eating food is elective. But when you don't eat the right foods, you actually electively choose not to get the immune benefits. So I don't want you to miss out. And by the way, if you find values in my videos, would you mind checking if you're subscribed? And if you are not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, like button, and share button, because it does change how many people get to watch my videos. I appreciate your partnership in helping to change the world. Here's another immune educator. It's called mushrooms. They contain beta-glucans, polysaccharides, and special antioxidants called ergothioneine. Now, ergothioneine is special because you have receptors in your body specifically designed to transport ergothioneine into your cells. That means your body recognizes it as being important enough to literally have its own chair. Ergothioneine, they help to protect your immune cells from oxidative stress, and they may help to reduce inflammation. But if I were to pick a mushroom, I would pick one that's called Cordyceps. Cordyceps is a fascinating mushroom. Not only does it contain beta-glucans and polysaccharides and ergothioneine, it also contains cordycepin. And there's interesting research around energy, performance enhancement, inflammation, and immune modulation when people take cordyceps. But the key word is modulation. The goal is not to just randomly boost your immune system. That can go really wrong. The goal is to get your immune system to work smarter, not necessarily harder. And so far, I've talked about 2 food groups that people can get in supermarkets or Asian supermarkets or when you go to a supplement store. Now, the second principle is to focus on your recovery capacity, which is determined by how well you're sleeping, how well you get to repair, reset, and rebuild. Sleep is restorative. 7 hours appears to be the sweet spot. And I'm sure I don't have to tell you how lousy you feel when you stay up all night. You feel lousy because it's bad for your health. But supporting your body to repair, reset, and rebuild is more than just sleep. Sleep, though, is number one. So if you don't get enough sleep, it's really going to limit the growth and whatever else that you're doing to improve your immunity. Now, on the other hand, recovery is not a passive process. In fact, it's very active, and it requires you to do specific activities and eat specific nutrients and eat enough of them to support your body's ability to recover. And this is where people get totally confused because they lump everything under the umbrella of supplements. Sure, I got them too. And then they say, isn't this just expensive pee? Really, is it? You know, I think the fair question is, can one vitamin act like a prescription drug? Or do you need multiple nutrients to repair, regulate inflammation, support antioxidant defense, and maintain a proper immune balance? You know, it's kind of common sense. Obviously, prescription medications serve one role, and essential nutrients, they shouldn't be in the same category. Medicines are designed to treat or manage specific symptoms. Essential micronutrients, they're basically nutrients to help your body to have normal biology. Let's take, something as simple as vitamin C, in which if you're not eating fruits and vegetables, you're likely struggling to get. Or zinc. Billions of people are deficient in zinc around the world, and you need vitamin C and zinc to support collagen repair. So if you don't have enough of them, your skin will sag and grow old much faster than people who do. How about selenium, magnesium, B vitamins? They support your glutathione, your number one detox pathway. Now, what most people, they don't realize is that when their body is under stress, whether it's an infection or simply poor sleep or more exercise or more inflammation, there is rapid cell turnover in your body, and you just require more essential nutrients to be normal. So, for example, if you smoke, it is well known that you need more vitamin C than a non-smoker. And you may not be smoking cigarettes, but let's say you spend all day cooking, whether in a restaurant or in your kitchen, or in a barbecue grill, or you're lighting candles, or you're, inhaling forest fire fumes, or you're cleaning detergents, or your car exhaust. These are all sources of air pollution, which will require you to get more essential nutrients. And that's another reason why eating fresh fruit is so beneficial. If you point your camera app to this QR code, it'll take you to a link for a free handout that I created just for you. And if you like it, if you want to see other handouts, please go to the link in my show notes, and then you can leave me your feedback on what I could do to help you in your journey. Okay, back to the video now. Now, some people take a lot of different over-the-counter stuff. It's not just supplements, but let's say antacids, or even prescription antacid. So if you're taking an acid blocker, did you know that it inhibits your body's ability to absorb essential nutrients like, let's say, cobalamin, vitamin B12? So if you're not supplementing with vitamin B12 or eating vitamin B12 rich foods, like many people who are on a restrictive diet, you may not be getting enough, and then your levels get lower and lower. And if you're over 50, your body simply makes less stomach acid, and hence older people tend to be at highest risk of being B12 deficient, which doesn't just give you anemia. It actually weakens your immunity, it weakens your nervous system, it reduces your energy and your ability to recover. So if you're over 50, the National Academy of Medicine, they recommend that you take a vitamin B12 supplement. When was the last time anybody told you that? So no, not all supplements are expensive pee, folks. Now keep in mind, more is not always better. For example, fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin E, it can accumulate and become toxic in your system. The amount, the form, the quality matters a lot. That's why I always recommend that people find a brand they trust. And as a OCD type personality, I too am very skeptical of the supplement industry. And every time I would take it, I'd be wondering, am I really taking what it's telling me? And hence, I formulated my own supplement called NACPro Plus to support myself and my family and my friends. This isn't a partnership with a giant supplement company, folks. This supplement is a passion project that my friends and I invested with our own money to start this company. In fact, before we sold one box, we literally gifted our NACPro Plus across the country to healthcare workers and churches in 2020. Now, I'm sure many of these nutrients, if you look on the side, you probably have in your own multivitamin, but check out the amount. There's going to be a huge difference because I formulated this box with my friends and family in mind. And by the way, is your supplement third-party tested? NACPro Plus is. And there's actually even more unique difference about NACPro Plus versus other supplements. Check out the bottom half of the ingredient list. It's full of prebiotics, carefully chosen by me with immune support in mind, based on the principles in this video. But keep in mind, this is still a supplement, which generally means you're supplementing your diet. So supplements should never replace food, sleep, movement, and medical care. Now, the third principle is immune modulation. Immune modulation means you're training your immune system through input. It responds differently to different input, right? And what we want to do is to make it respond better, not necessarily louder. So you don't want to randomly boost your immune system. And everyone has stimulus throughout the day from stress, toxins, infections, inflammation, processed food. Many of these we can't totally avoid or eliminate, like air pollution. But did you know that you have the power to immune modulate to change your health? So let's start with getting daily sunlight. Now, a smoker who actually spends an adequate amount of time in the sun can live as long as a non-smoker who actually doesn't get enough sunlight. Now, that doesn't mean you should be like burning in the sun. And that's also why it's super important to check the UV index before you go out in the morning. And seriously, if you want to avoid getting burned, be cautious when you go out with a UV index above 3. Foods also are different immune modulators. And just like sunlight, scientists are beginning to study the effects of our natural world, including food. And there are a few nutrients that I want to point out that you can get in food. First one is PEA, polymethylethanolamide. It's a fat-like molecule your body naturally makes to calm inflammation. And we're beginning to recognize it's not just important for your immune system, but it's important for your nervous system. So the point of having PEA is not really to randomly boost your immunity like a stimulant. It really helps your immune system stay more balanced by supporting what your body normally does. Okay? So what we want to do is turn down excessive inflammation, especially those that are irritating nerve cells and tissue. You make PEA, but you also can get small amounts from food. Unfortunately, when you seriously have inflammation around your nervous system, you may not get enough through food and you may not make enough on your own. And that's the benefit of taking PEA as a supplement. It could potentially be supportive. And I'm sure you've heard that many essential vitamins are purified from plants. But there are a lot more molecules that we don't recognize as essential that probably have a central role in preserving our health. Take quercetin. It's a plant compound found in many foods, like onions and apples, berries, and kale. Even broccoli has it. But it's also sold as a supplement. It supports antioxidant defense, it calms excessive inflammatory signaling, and it can help to stabilize immune cells. But that's also why eating fiber-rich whole foods, like the foods I just mentioned, are super important. Because when you eat an apple or an onion, you're not just eating fiber, you're getting quercetin. You're getting other polyphenols that help immune modulate your body. And when your body is under more stress than normal, you're honestly not going to be digesting food the same way. Remember the poop example and how you're not digesting some of your food when you get stressed? And fiber just slows down your ability to access quercetin. It's doing its job, but when you need it, that's where sometimes supplements can be supportive. Now, some of the longest living animals are actually in our ocean, which we use as a toilet bowl. But that's also where you get astaxanthin. It's found in a red algae, and ocean animals eat it. It appears like astaxanthin helps protect immune cells from oxidative stress, and ocean fish find protection in their skin because they're ingesting a boatload of microplastics because we keep using our oceans like trash cans. And it turns out that humans are pouring a bunch of microplastics into ourselves, from bottled water to plastic bags and, all these plastic packaging. And what's the recommendation that we do? Minimize plastics. Really? We can't get away from plastics. Everything is made out of plastics, even our clothes. And we're finding plastics in our brain, in our plaque, in our heart. Dude, we're being plasticized like Plastic Man, except we don't get the super cool superpowers. Now, typically, we're looking for swelling and pain as a telltale sign of inflammation. You know, like when you get your wisdom teeth pulled, that's pretty painful, right? And I'm sure you felt your jaw swell. Any kind of like head or sinus or jaw teeth problems induces a lot of discomfort because your fifth nerve, your trigeminal nerve, is very sensitive. And ancient cultures, they struggle through the same problems. But what do? They turn to natural herbs, such as fruits, to help them bring them comfort and treat disease. And that's the story of Bromelain, a group of digestive enzymes that actually breaks down proteins. You know where it's found? In pineapple. People use bromelain for actually postoperative pain, for wisdom teeth extraction. Some people use it for sinusitis or exercise-induced muscle soreness. And there's actually an FDA-approved drug with bromelain for debridement, which is removal of dead tissue on contaminants for burn patients. And this is another reason why it's beneficial to eat whole fruits. Now, I think one of the most important pathways to support our recovery and basically our body's normal physiology to be resilient against all the stressors in life is to support our body's ability to make glutathione. Now, glutathione is something every cell needs every day to survive, because even if you don't, inhale all the toxins or wear plastics or this or that, your body makes toxins on its own as a part of the normal process of living. It's like fish, folks. Fish makes trash and they swim in their own trash, right? Well, our cells do the same thing in our bodies. But our cells aren't stupid. They've created their own way to detoxify stuff that really is not so healthy for them. And glutathione is one of those active processes that rapidly helps our organs survive and thrive. It's hard to study people who are healthy because they're healthy. What abnormal marker are you going to measure, right? But if you take healthy people and you put them in stressful situations, let's say you lock them up with a bunch of germs, and then you see how do they do, right? If you give them a certain supplement, do they actually maintain their health? Well, it turns out that when you give people a molecule called N-acetylcysteine, which is basically a supplement for an essential amino acid called cysteine, you actually support their immune system so that when they face, let's say, a germ, they recover much faster. And for some reason, people don't realize it because, I don't know, I guess they've never read the study. If you haven't noticed, your immune system actually dictates all the inflammation that happens in your body, no matter what organ we're talking about. That's why it's super important to learn how you can support your immunity. And if you want to learn more about that, watch the next video.